Right. So today we're going deep on design.
Design.
But not just like graphic design or like fashion.
Yeah, right.
More like the impact of design on businesses and consumers and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think what's really interesting is like how pervasive it is. Like it's like all around us. You know, it's everything from the apps that we use on our phones to like, I mean, you know, you mentioned fashion. I mean, it is fashion, but it's also like the shampoo bottle.
Okay. So is there more to shampoo bottles than I realize?
Yeah, so there's this great example of a company that redesigned shampoo as a powder to cut down on shipping and, you know, their carbon footprint.
What, shampoo is a powder?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
How does that even work?
It's basically like concentrating the formula and then they package it in a way that reduces the need for the plastic bottles and all that water weight we ship around.
Yeah.
So it's a win-win for the user and the environment.
Interesting. So it's not just about aesthetics.
No.
What else did we find?
Well, McKinsey did a deep dive of their own. They developed this thing called the Design Index. Okay.
Where they tracked how companies are incorporating design into their strategies, and the findings are pretty remarkable.
Okay, so what kind of impact are we talking?
The companies that scored high on this design index weren't just winning design awards.
Right.
They were seeing significantly higher revenue growth and shareholder returns.
Wow.
In some cases, like double the growth of their competitors.
Double the growth.
Yeah.
Wow, that's impressive. But how does that even happen?
So it's about treating design as a core business strategy. It's not just like an afterthought. It's not just about making things look pretty.
Right.
The top performers are treating design as a top management issue.
So data-driven design decisions.
Exactly.
No more gut feeling.
Exactly. We're talking about like CEOs championing this design-centric vision.
Okay.
And they're measuring it and analyzing it.
So how does this play out in our everyday lives?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Like, what should I as a consumer be looking for?
Well, think about the products and services that you use.
Yeah. That you really love to use, that you find really easy to use.
Like when my phone reminds me to leave for a meeting based on traffic, or when my favorite app gets a new feature that makes it even easier to use.
Yeah, exactly. Those are great examples. It's about understanding the customer journey and breaking down those traditional barriers between like physical products, digital experiences, services.
Because let's be honest, we don't experience things in isolation, right?
Totally.
It's all kind of part of this larger ecosystem.
Yeah, and that's where design thinking comes in.
Okay.
So it's about taking a step back, looking at the bigger picture, understanding how different elements interact and influence each other.
So less about aesthetics and more about problem solving.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes it so exciting. Design isn't just about making things look pretty anymore. It's about creating real tangible value for businesses and the people who use their products and services.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty significant shift in how companies operate.
It is.
It's not just a tweak here and there. It's like embracing a whole new way of thinking.
Yeah, and I think that's precisely what sets these high-performing companies apart. They've realized that design isn't just a department. It's a mindset. It's a way of approaching problems. It's a philosophy that puts the user at the center of everything.
But to pull this off, it sounds like it requires more than just a talented design team.
Totally.
It requires like a company culture that values design at every level.
You hit the nail on the head.
Okay.
You can't just like hire creative people and stick them in a corner.
Right.
You need to break down silos and foster collaboration where designers work hand in hand with marketing, engineering, even finance.
Because ultimately it's about creating something that truly meets those customer needs.
Right.
And that requires input from all across the board.
Absolutely. It's about fostering a shared understanding of the user's journey, their pain points. And, it requires open communication, a willingness to learn from each other, and a culture that values diverse perspectives. So this completely shatters that image of like the lone genius designer holed up in their studio, working on their masterpiece in isolation.
Yeah.
It's not like that at all anymore.
No, the most successful designers today are collaborative, they're communicative, they're comfortable working in these cross-functional teams.
Yeah.
They need to speak the language of business, understand constraints and opportunities, and translate their creative vision into something that's both innovative and commercially viable.
So it's almost like they need to be bilingual. Like
Exact.
fluent in the language of design and the language of business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not just about designers understanding business. It's about businesses understanding design.
Yeah, so valuing the insights that designers bring to the table and
Yeah.
seeing design as more than just window dressing, but as like a strategic tool for problem solving and innovation.
Precisely. And I think that's where we see a real difference between companies that get it and those that don't.
The leaders are investing in their design talent and empowering them to be part of the decision-making process right from the start.
So giving designers a seat at the table, not just in the design studio, but like in the boardroom.
You got it.
Wow.
And it's not just about throwing money at the problem.
Right.
It's about creating a culture of trust and respect where designers are valued for their expertise and their fresh perspective.
So it sounds like we're talking about a pretty significant shift in the way that companies operate.
Yeah.
It's not just about tweaking a few things. It's about embracing a whole new way of thinking.
You're absolutely right. The companies that are excelling, they've recognized that design isn't just a department. It's a mindset. It's a way of approaching problems and finding solutions that truly puts the user at the heart of everything they do.
And that's incredibly powerful.
It is.
It's about moving beyond those traditional silos and embracing a more holistic, collaborative, human-centered approach to business.
Yeah, and recognizing that good design isn't just about aesthetics, but it's about crafting experiences that are functional, intuitive, and make people's lives better.
This has been incredibly insightful so far.
Yeah.
But I feel like we're just scratching the surface of this whole design revolution.
Yeah.
Before we dive any deeper,
Sure.
I want to explore this concept of continuous iteration.
Oh, that's a great point, because the best companies don't just stop at product launch.
Right.
They see it as the beginning. They're constantly gathering feedback, analyzing data, and seeking ways to improve the user experience.
So it's not about creating a perfect product and then calling it a day.
Not at all. It's about embracing this mindset of continuous improvement.
Okay.
They recognize that user needs and expectations are always changing,
Right.
and they need to be nimble and responsive to keep pace.
And that makes a lot of sense. The world is changing at warp speed and customer expectations are higher than ever.
For sure.
Companies really need to be adaptable to stay ahead of the curve.
Exactly. And that's where the real power of design thinking shines. It's not just about creating beautiful products. It's about creating systems and processes that allow for continuous learning and improvement.
So it's like baking adaptability into the company's DNA.
Precisely. And that's what allows them to stay relevant, innovative, and ultimately successful in the long run.
I love that idea. So it's not just about designing products. It's about designing the company itself
Yeah.
to be more responsive, adaptable, and user-centric.
That's a powerful shift in thinking. It's about moving beyond that traditional siloed approach to business
Right.
and embracing a more holistic, integrated, and human-centered way of operating.
This has been an amazing conversation.
It has.
But we're just getting started.
We are.
When we come back, we'll explore even more fascinating aspects of design and its impact on the world around us.
Welcome back. So, we've been talking about how companies are leveraging design to boost their bottom line,
Yeah.
but it goes beyond profits.
Okay. I'm all ears. Tell me more.
Well, design thinking isn't just changing the business world. It's being applied to some of the biggest challenges facing our society today.
Okay, so we're talking like climate change, inequality, global health.
You got it.
Wow.
Design thinking, with its focus on human needs,
Right.
creative problem-solving, real-world feedback,
Right.
is proving to be a powerful tool for positive change.
So not just better products, but a better world.
It is, and we're seeing it in action across various fields. Take sustainable design, for instance.
Okay.
Designers are developing everything from eco-friendly packaging to products made from recycled materials.
Like that innovative shampoo powder we were talking about.
Exactly.
Reducing waste at the source.
It's a brilliant example of how design can create products that benefit both the consumer and the planet. And it's not just limited to consumer goods. We're seeing similar innovations in energy efficiency, transportation, even urban planning.
So it's not just about tweaking a few things. It's like redesigning entire systems to be more sustainable and equitable.
Precisely, and it goes beyond just sustainability. So
Right.
look at healthcare, for example. Designers are collaborating with doctors, nurses, patients to create more user-friendly medical devices, design more patient-centered hospitals, and develop digital health tools that empower individuals to take control of their well-being.
Wow, that's incredible. Using design to make healthcare more human-centered. That's amazing. But beyond healthcare, where else are we seeing this kind of impact?
Well, we're seeing it address issues like poverty education, access to clean water.
Wow.
Designers are working directly with communities around the globe, developing solutions tailored to their specific needs and challenges.
That's amazing.
It's about empowering communities to create a better future for themselves.
So inspiring. It really feels like design is becoming this force for good,
It is.
using creativity and innovation to make a real difference in the world.
And that's one of the most exciting things about design today.
Yeah.
It's no longer just about making things look pretty. It's about solving real-world problems and making a positive impact on people's lives.
It sounds like the role of a designer is expanding way beyond what we traditionally think of.
It is. Designers are becoming facilitators, collaborators, problem solvers on a global scale. They're stepping outside the studio and into communities, hospitals, even boardrooms.
Speaking of boardrooms, we've talked a lot about the need for companies to embrace this design thinking. But what does a successful design department actually look like?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on behind the scenes?
Well, a truly effective design department isn't some isolated ivory tower.
Okay,
Think of it more like a bustling town square,
I like that.
where designers are constantly interacting and collaborating with colleagues from different departments.
Okay, so no more solitary geniuses hiding away in their studios. They're out in the open, brainstorming with marketing, engineering, maybe having coffee with the finance team.
Exactly. This shift from a siloed department to a more integrated approach is crucial for fostering creativity, innovation, and those exceptional user experiences we've been talking about.
So it's not just about physically moving desks around. It's about breaking down those invisible walls that often separate departments and create those dreaded silos.
Precisely, it's about creating an environment where designers feel comfortable sharing their unique perspective,
Right.
and where their colleagues from other departments see design as a valuable asset, not just a finishing touch.
This makes a lot of sense.
Right.
But what about the designers themselves? What kind of skills do they need to thrive in this new world of collaborative design?
Well, they need to be adaptable, communicative, able to work effectively with diverse teams.
Right.
And while a strong design foundation is crucial, they also need a solid understanding of business principles,
Okay.
strategic thinking, and even a bit of tech savviness.
So we're looking for well-rounded individuals who can wear multiple hats.
Wow.
They need to be fluent in the language of design and the language of business.
You got it. They need to be able to translate their creative vision into practical solutions, navigate complex collaborations, and advocate for the value of design within their organizations.
It sounds like a pretty demanding role, but also incredibly exciting.
It is.
They're really at the forefront of innovation shaping the future of product services, even entire companies.
Exactly. It's a challenging but incredibly rewarding field, especially now that design is being applied to such a wide range of issues,
Yeah.
from business strategy to global challenges.
This is blowing my mind. It's amazing to see how design is evolving and becoming so much more than just aesthetics.
It is.
It's about problem-solving innovation and creating a better future for everyone. But before we get ahead of ourselves,
Sure.
let's get back to the practicalities of building a successful design-driven culture within a company. Like, where do you even begin?
Well, it starts with leadership.
Okay.
It's crucial to have leaders who not only understand the value of design, but actively champion it within their organizations.
So it's not just about putting chief design officer on someone's business card.
Right.
It's about having leaders who truly believe in the power of design and are willing to put their money where their mouth is.
You nailed it. You need leaders who are willing to advocate for design, invest in resources, and create opportunities for designers to shine. This might involve establishing clear design processes, investing in the latest tools and technologies, and fostering a culture of experimentation and continuous learning.
That sounds like a pretty significant commitment.
Right.
But honestly, what are some of the challenges companies face when trying to make this shift towards a more design-centric approach?
Well, one of the biggest hurdles is often resistance to change.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Many organizations are stuck in their old ways of doing things with established hierarchies and ingrained departmental silos.
Right.
Breaking down those barriers and creating a truly collaborative, design-driven culture can be a real challenge.
So it's not just about changing processes, it's about changing mindsets.
Absolutely. It's about helping people see the value of design,
Right.
showing them how it can benefit their work, and getting them to embrace a more human-centered approach to problem solving.
I imagine that can be tough, especially in companies that have a long history of doing things a certain way. It's like turning a giant ship around.
You're right, it takes time, patience, and a lot of persuasion, but the payoff can be huge.
Okay.
When design is integrated into every level of an organization, It unlocks a whole new level of creativity, innovation, and customer focus.
This is incredibly inspiring. Like, design is becoming this catalyst for positive change,
It is.
not just in the products we use, but in the way we work and the way we think about the world around us.
That's the power of design.
Hmm.
It's not just about creating beautiful objects, it's about creating a better future for everyone.
This has been an incredible conversation so far. We've covered so much ground, but there's still so much more to explore. Okay, and we're back, wrapping up our design deep dive.
It's been quite a journey.
It has. We've seen how design is like totally transforming businesses,
Yeah.
tackling these huge societal issues, even shaping like the future we live in.
Yeah. And throughout our conversation, there's been this one key theme that's been constant.
All right.
Design is all about people. Yeah, it's about understanding their needs, aspirations, and challenges, and using that understanding to create solutions that improve their lives.
So putting people at the center of everything we do.
Exactly. Whether we're designing a product, a service, even a company culture. That's what makes design such a powerful force. It's a catalyst for positive change and a key to unlocking a more sustainable, equitable, and fulfilling future.
As we wrap up our exploration, I'm curious, what do you think is the most important takeaway for our listeners? Like, what's the one thing you hope they remember long after this deep dive is over?
I hope people realize that design isn't just like a specialized skill or a department.
Yeah.
It's a way of thinking. It's a problem-solving approach that anyone can apply to any aspect of life.
So whether you're an entrepreneur, a CEO, or just someone who wants to make a difference,
Yeah.
design thinking can be a valuable tool.
Absolutely. It's about embracing curiosity, empathy, and a willingness to experiment. It's about seeking new perspectives, challenging assumptions, adapting based on feedback.
And understanding that the best solutions often come from those unexpected places, and that the most successful innovations are the ones that genuinely meet those needs.
Precisely. And that's what makes design so exciting. It's constantly evolving, always pushing boundaries and finding new ways to make a difference in the world.
Well said. This has been such an incredible journey for me, and I hope for our listeners as well.
It has.
I feel like we've only just scratched the surface of this fascinating, ever-expanding world of design.
It is a fascinating world.
It is. So to our listeners, we encourage you to continue this deep dive on your own. Look around your world.
Yeah.
Observe what problems need solving, what experiences could be improved,
What could be better?
exactly what opportunities are waiting to be discovered. The power of design is literally in your hands.
Keep asking those questions. Keep exploring. Keep designing the future as waiting to be shaped.
And that's our show for today. Thanks for joining us for this design deep dive. We'll catch you next time for another insightful exploration.